Welcome back. We're always happy to have you, and more importantly, I hope we continue exploring topics that are of interest to you. With that said, I'd like to talk about trends in general. Quite frankly, some of us don't care and others do. Where do they come from? How do they affect you, and should you follow them? These are some deeper questions than we might first perceive, and I will do my best to answer them in a short amount of time. However, we may need to do a Fashion 101 standalone episode on this topic and many others in due time. For now, let's get back to it. Fashion trends are basically a grouping of popular ideas and styles that are then translated into collections on the runway. But again, where do they come from? Like I said earlier, there are those who follow the trends, those who don't, and then there are the trendsetters. These individuals are the core of the fashion empire, and who are they? Trendsetters are those who are not defined by any official trend. They are bold and unafraid to be themselves. In fact, it could be you. Let me clarify, all the while honing a strong sense of style and personality with emphasis on style. Our population of designers, the visionaries of the fashion industry, filter through the various inspirations and translate them into their runway collections. The buyers then sort through the collections and fill the stores with what they feel the consumers will buy. And the consumers really have the final say. Or do they?
I choose what I wear.
No, you don't. Not exactly anyway. Yes, the consumer buys what he or she wants, but is it what they really wanted in the first place? You see, the fashion world glamorizes a look, heavily influencing and setting the tone for the mainstream market. Whether you choose to follow a trend or not is up to you. But not every color is going to work for your skin, and not every shape is going to work on your body. Skinny jeans are not for everybody, as is evident by Conan here, who is making fun of the skinny jean. You have to dress with your body in mind, and that's what dictates your style and personal trend. And as far as the effect of trends on you and the others around, it's all dependent on how you want them to view you. For example, if you work in the fashion industry, then I suggest you dress accordingly. But if you work in an industry where fashion is not important, then is it really important to follow those trends? Yes, society creates cultural norms of acceptability in terms of fashion and how you dress, but that doesn't mean that you have to dress a certain way. The beauty of it is that there are so many different trends nowadays that you can follow pretty much anything, and again, I fall back to what looks good on you and what looks good on your body. So, be your own kind of beautiful.
Rumors have been flying of late that the iPhone 7, due to be released this fall, will be missing a key feature that buyers have become used to. Sources within Apple's own supply chain have confirmed the next major version of the iPhone will be missing the 3.5mm headphone jack. There are many up in arms over this, as they have specific headphones they prefer, or an accessory they love that uses this port. But from Apple's point of view, this change makes perfect sense. The headphone jack is one impediment to making the phone thinner, as it currently has to be thick enough to support the connector. It will also leave additional room for a larger battery or possibly a second speaker. Don't worry, you won't be forced to listen to all your content over that built-in speaker. There are already companies that offer headphones that connect via the Lightning port, which, as a powered connector, allows for powered amps to improve audio quality. The same rumors also state that Apple will include a Lightning-based or possibly Bluetooth earpod set in the box with the iPhone 7. And let's not forget that most of us have already invested in Bluetooth headphones. With the newest version of Bluetooth, they use much less power than before and allow for high-quality sound. Besides, who really wants to be leashed to their phone? For those that feel they must use their old headphones, it is expected that Apple will also release a Lightning to 3.5mm headphone jack adapter. This would allow you to use your old headphones and possibly other attachments as well. And as always, there is one final option. Save the hundreds of dollars and don't upgrade. The iPhone 6s and 6s Plus are still perfectly good phones. But remember, progress marches on, whether you choose to march with it or not.
Hey guys, today I'd like to help you build your own workout plan modeled much after my own that has been working out quite great for me. In fact, I started my fitness journey at just under 300 pounds and am now 90 plus pounds lighter than I used to be and feeling great. No more yo-yo dieting for me. But let's start with the basics. We need to make sure to cover all areas of your body, but not all at once. So you're going to need a workout routine that's going to cover your upper body, your lower body, a couple days of cardio, some stretching, and most importantly, rest. Alright, so this is my workout plan. Sunday, you're off. Monday, do a day of cardio. Tuesday, upper body. Wednesday, off. Thursday, lower body. Friday, cardio. And Saturday, recovery and stretch. You can pick the individual workouts based on what you enjoy most and the equipment that you have available. Now remember that bodyweight routines require no equipment whatsoever. Just do a search on YouTube or go to bodybuilding.com for a plethora of free workout plans. Make sure to gradually increase the intensity of your workouts as you get stronger, and don't be afraid of muscle training. I know that most of you aren't trying to get all big and muscular, and don't worry about it. To do so actually takes a great understanding of the nutrients and foods that you're consuming and the right times to do so while you're training. So most of us are just going to get fit and healthy because muscle burns fat. Safety first. Don't lift more than you are comfortable with. And I cannot stress enough, drink lots of water. I know that some of you are going to say that you already retain a lot of water, but actually drinking more water makes you retain less. It seems counterintuitive, but the idea is that your body doesn't feel like it's at a deficit, so therefore it's releasing more of the fluids. In other words, you're going to look a lot thinner. More important than anything, guys, is the diet plan. Make sure that you do something that's going to be feasible for you, something that you can actually obtain, instead of setting some ridiculous, dramatic plan where you're going to have some crazy deficit and not allow yourself any of the foods that you like. Start with small steps. Start with small goals, like say, I'm going to stop drinking soda. And then in 6 months, I'm going to stop drinking all sugary drinks. Trust me, small goals, small steps equal results. This brings me to goals. Don't set an indefinite workout plan. Make sure there's an end to it, an end in sight. Either 8 weeks or 12 weeks at most, with 1 week in between each new plan. Diversity is key, guys. This is the time when you can come back to your plan and say, hey, this hasn't been working so great, so I'm going to change that. And this worked great, so I'm going to keep it. Now, commitment. This is important, guys. Make sure that you commit to a time in a day that you can do without fail. Because as soon as you start making excuses for why you can't come in and work out, that's it. The plan is going to crumble. Make sure that you come and you show up even if you can't bring your A game. Make sure that you're there, moving around, doing your absolute best for that day. And trust me, in no time, you're going to find yourself pushing harder than you ever thought you would. In no time, the benefits of health will become apparent, and you'll become addicted to healthier living. I know I have. Health and wellness to you all. I'll see you next time.
Most of you would remember some food or another that they just couldn't possibly choke down when they were a kid, but eat like candy as an adult. Or maybe you're a parent, and you just don't understand why your kid makes pukey noises every time a Brussels sprout touches their lips. Is it just that kids are picky, or bratty, or that they hear something is unhealthy and can't stomach the thought of putting it in their mouth? Well, science has an answer for that. Kids' mouths are stuffed with taste buds, each one jumping over the next to get to the front of the line. And the more taste buds, the more bitterness you'll sense. By the time you reach adulthood, up to 2/3 of those 30,000 taste buds have gotten off the bus at the last stop. This explains why kids look at you like a crazy person when you let them take that one sip of beer or wine and say, "I'll never drink that stuff." Some scientists believe that we're all born with synesthesia, the condition where your senses are intermingled. This is one of the reasons why baby food is so bland. You see, having such a refined palate is actually a defense mechanism, so that we can better taste poisons, which are more likely to have a bitter flavor. As you get older, you have learned to distinguish dangerous foods by sight, or have been taught what not to eat, so you no longer need such an ability. As you reach puberty, hormones will start to affect your sense of taste as well. This is why boys will often need a higher concentration of sugar to get the same sense of sweetness as a girl. Add to that the desire to be seen as an adult, and children will do things that they don't like. They will start drinking coffee, or that beer they said they'd never drink again just for appearance sake. Eventually, by pretending to like them long enough, they will actually form new neural pathways until they actually start to like it. So next time a kid says they'd rather have ice cream instead of spinach, it's just science. There's a wide variety of performing arts, and many of them are quite beautiful. More importantly, each person is entitled to enjoy them in their own way.
There are definitely those who think that they are superior to others simply because they know the names of the dancers to a specific ballet, the definition of a plie, an operatic cadenza, or what a proscenium is at a stage performance.
The truth is, it doesn't make you better, it just means that you really enjoyed that particular piece or form of performance. A person may know who Lena Lavrovsky is, but know nothing of Run DMC or Lady Gaga.
You're right. Snobbery of any art is unacceptable and unwelcoming, and it seems almost counterintuitive to the survival of the art itself.
Indeed, as a ballet lover, you should be more welcoming of new patrons, but try to be understanding if they discover it's not the right fit for them.
I personally love all forms, from ballet all the way down to performance art, which may seem a little odd to some. In fact, one of my favorite ballet troupes comes from Vancouver, BC, appropriately named Ballet BC.
We also saw a circus troupe out of Toronto, Les Sept Doigts de la Main, performing Sequence 8, a fantastic example of theatrical acrobatics.
I figured out how to make something sound snobby, just say it in French. Les sept doigts de la main, which translates to the 7 fingers of the hand.
I really love opera, especially Carmen, and I hope to see it in person someday if it performs locally.
I love the opera version of Hansel and Gretel, which caught me by surprise in a very good way.
As for theater, I really like musicals like Into the Woods, Sweeney Todd, and My Fair Lady. And when it comes to non-musical theater, I've had the chance to be in productions on stage like Is He Dead?, The Rainmaker, and most recently Sherlock Holmes, The Final Adventure. But my all-time favorite, and one I hope to participate in someday, is Noises Off.
Yes, he does love Noises Off. In fact, he made me watch it, and honestly, I enjoyed it. I've also exposed him to some of my quirky tastes in performance art, and we have discovered mutual favorites like musician Geisha Davis, poet Rachel Wiley, and multimedia performer Reggie Watts.
Yes, Ahmed has some very interesting tastes in arts and many other things. We are proof positive, however, that you can like a wide variety of performing arts and still get along.
Well, sort of.
What do you mean?
Well, we can definitely be opinionated about what we like. However, we do share an affinity for dance, music, theater, and arts as a whole.
So remember, enjoy what you enjoy, and don't feel like you aren't as good as someone else because you like Madonna and they like Tchaikovsky.
And if you do listen to Tchaikovsky and know his full body of work, be welcoming of others and remember that the survival of your art is dependent on the creation of multi-generational fan bases.
Support your local theaters and explore the arts in your community. This is Jason
And Ahmed,
signing off. I'm watching you. I'm watching you. I'm watching you. Hey everyone, thanks for joining us again this week.
As always, it's good to see you.
And if you're in the Portland area, make sure you check out Magenta Theater. Oh, and Brian, that Noises Off section, that was for you.
I'm sure you know what he's talking about. Guys, check out the links below for anything we talked about.
And don't forget to subscribe.
Always subscribe.
Subscribe.
We'll see you later. Ciao.
One time through.